Okay, let's talk about one of the most stubborn and frankly dangerous health issues out there, that visceral belly fat. We are going to break down a science-backed guide to really target it and lose it fast. Does this sound familiar? You're trying to eat right, you're hitting the gym, maybe the number on the scale is even going down, but that pouch right around your middle, it just will not budge. It is so frustrating, and trust me, you are not alone. But there's a very specific reason for it. You see, the issue isn't really the fat that you can pinch, the stuff that sits right under your skin. The real problem, the actual hidden danger, is something much, much deeper. We're talking about visceral fat, and this isn't about how you look in a swimsuit. This is the metabolically active, inflammatory fat that's literally wrapped around your vital organs, your liver, your pancreas, your intestines. It's the type of fat that is actively driving chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease. Now, before you start to get discouraged, here is the absolute key. As dangerous as this stuff is, it is also incredibly responsive to change. It's actually the easiest type of fat to get rid of, once you know exactly how to target it. So let's get right into the game plan. First things first, let's talk about food, because what you put on your plate every single day is either feeding that visceral fat or it's starving it. And our first weapon in this fight, it's found in all those colorful plants.
Let me introduce you to carotenoids. These are the natural pigments that give carrots their bright orange color and tomatoes that deep red hue. But they do so much more than just look pretty. They are powerful antioxidants that go to war against the inflammation that's at the very root of visceral fat storage. And what's really fascinating is how they work on a genetic level. They actually help turn on your fat-burning genes and quiet down the ones that tell your body to store fat. So, where do you get them? It's simple. You eat the rainbow. Think carrots, sweet potatoes, vibrant bell peppers, spinach, squash. Really, any colorful vegetable is probably loaded with them. There was even a Japanese study that found that just adding more of these carotenoid-rich veggies to their diet reduced visceral fat in only 8 weeks.
Okay, now let's look at what you're drinking. There is another incredibly powerful compound that is a total powerhouse against visceral fat, and you probably already have it sitting in your kitchen cabinet. We are talking about catechins, which are found in huge amounts in green tea, and they work in 2 absolutely fantastic ways. First, they give your metabolism a nice little boost, kind of telling your nervous system to get busy burning more fat. And second, they actually block some of the enzymes that process fat, which means your body just absorbs less of it from the food you eat. It's a pretty amazing 1-2 punch. And this isn't just some theory. A serious double-blind trial showed that drinking catechin-rich green tea for 12 weeks led to a significant drop in visceral fat. So for the best results, you'll want to go for minimally processed teas, like matcha or sencha. They tend to have the highest concentration of the good stuff. All right, so you've dialed in your diet. Now it's time to add what I like to call the magical multiplier. If you want to rapidly, and I mean rapidly, erase visceral fat, you simply cannot skip exercise. So what's the specific role that exercise plays? Well, a massive analysis of 117 studies confirmed it. While diet is amazing for lowering the overall number on the scale, exercise has a superior, targeted effect on shrinking visceral fat specifically. You gotta think of exercise as the specialist for this particular job. And just how effective are we talking here? Well, check this out. There was one fascinating study where they took a group of people and had them do nothing more than just 2 45-minute cycling sessions a week at a totally manageable, moderate intensity. In just 2 months, get this, the result was a staggering 48% reduction in their visceral fat. That is almost half of their dangerous internal fat, just gone, from only 90 minutes of exercise a week. And here is the craziest part. Their total body weight on the scale, it barely changed. This is exactly why you cannot always trust the scale. It doesn't tell you the whole story about what's happening inside. They were swapping that dangerous fat for healthy tissue, even if the overall number wasn't really moving. So you're convinced. But what kind of exercise gives you the absolute biggest bang for your buck? Let's build the perfect protocol based on all the latest research. So, a recent meta-analysis crunched the numbers from 84 different trials. And the clear winner, the undisputed champ for reducing visceral fat, is vigorous aerobic exercise and high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. Now, resistance training is still super beneficial for building muscle and boosting your metabolism, so definitely don't skip it. But for a targeted attack on this fat, cardio is king. So what does the ideal protocol look like when we put it all together? It's pretty simple, really. You want to get moving 2 to 3 times per week for at least 45 minutes a pop at a moderate to vigorous intensity. But what does moderate to vigorous actually feel like? You don't need any fancy gadgets. Just use the talk test. It's so simple. If you can still talk in full sentences, but you sound a little out of breath, that's moderate. If you can only spit out a few words before you have to gasp for a breath, congratulations, you've hit vigorous. It really is that easy to tell. Okay, we have laid out the perfect plan. But before we finish up, I really want to leave you with the single most important factor for your success. This right here. This is everything. You can have the most scientifically backed perfect workout protocol in the entire world. But you know what? It is absolutely worthless if you don't actually do it. Consistency will always beat perfection. A brisk walk or a dance class that you genuinely love and do several times a week is infinitely better than that perfect hit routine that you dread and only manage to do like twice a month. Find something you actually enjoy. So, let's make this real. Forget about being perfect for a minute. Just think about what you learned and ask yourself this. What is one enjoyable activity? Could be a walk, a bike ride, a swim, dancing around your living room. What is one thing you will commit to this week to start shrinking that visceral fat? Because that, right there, is where the real change begins.